This is an Easter how-to. This is based on the pieces that went out in the kits to the children from our Sunday school and Messy Church. In the kits you have a paper plate and a piece of black paper. From this we're going to create a work of art, specifically an Easter work of art. We're told in the Bible that Jesus died by being crucified. This was a horrible, horrible way to die. It was a very public way to die, and it meant that he had to suffer. He knew all the pain and the agony of dying in a nasty, horrible way, and that everybody round about would know that he had died. And our work of art is going to show us the cross and the two crosses beside it on which they crucified people who really had done things wrong. So we're going to start with our paper plate. If you've got paints, you could do this bit in paint. But one thing I do not have at home is a good set of paints. So I'm going to do mine with felt tips. Felt tips. I'm going to pick out a yellow, an orange, red. Oh, I've got another rather nice red there. Purple. Those colours are going to be the background for our picture. Now, those of you who got the wee kit will know what the picture is going to look like. For anybody else watching this, you're just going to have to see it as it develops. Along the way, you're also going to need a pencil, a pair of scissors, and either a trusty stapler, all the children who know me know my stapler is my friend, or a glue stick, or any other sort of glue. So we're going to start with the yellow colour. We're going to put the yellow across our plate just about a third of the way up. Now, you probably don't want to sit there watching me colouring in my plate. So I'm going to start by showing you where the yellow goes, then I'm going to switch the camera off for a while I do a bit more of it. So, you don't really want to have to listen to my felt tip. So I'm just going across with the yellow. My plate. Don't forget to do it around the edges. And you'll end up with a band of yellow like that. Maybe take it down a little bit further just to be sure. There, to there. Now, I'm going to crack on with this, so I'm going to get my orange and do that layer next, followed by the red and the purple. I'll come back to you when I've done those bits. And now I'm back. I've coloured my plate with the coloured stripes. Now, just to help them blend together, I realised a little bit of sponge dabbed in water will blend my felt tips together nicely. Wait one moment. Tiny jug of water, little bit of sponge. I'm going to rub my sponge across where the colours join. To be honest, it's easier for me to do this lying down, the plate lying down flat. Give me 1 minute. I think that'll do. So here we have a plate. The colours running from yellows up through oranges, red to purple. What you're going to need next is your piece of black paper, sorry. Here's my piece of black paper. Now, you could cut your shape out freehand just with a pair of scissors, but I find the easiest thing to do is take my piece of black paper and fold it in two in the middle. Now, it's going to go across the plate. So remember that you're folding it in half. That way. Now, I need my pencil. This is the easy way to do it. You draw half of your picture onto the paper with your pencil. Because pencil shows up shiny on black. So I'm going to put it down and do this bit of drawing. I'm sorry you can't see my hands doing this bit of drawing, but my technical skills with the camera are not that great. So I'm going to put half of the middle cross at the fold. So one thing you have to remember when you do this is to keep the piece, the centre against the fold, half the width that you want the final thing to be. But when you do the other cross, make it full width. So now I'm going to go as if it's going down a little hill. Draw my little hill down, and I'm going to put my second cross in beside it. Really, if I was being sensible, I'd do this with a ruler. But I've forgotten to bring my ruler over here with me, so it's freehand. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see that shape with my pencil, but I can. So it goes along here, down there, along, down, back, down. And the one beside it is a full cross shape, up, across, that shape, and down. And I've sloped mine down a hill, because they tell us that where they crucified people was on a hill. Now, scissors. Still keeping it folded, I'm going to start cutting out. Now, I know from past experience that watching somebody cutting out on video and listening to the sound of the scissors on the card or the paper is not terribly exciting. So again, I'm going to pause. And if you're following along with me, you can pause the video and reach the same point that I am. When we've finished cutting out, we should end up with that shape. Now, if I open that out, open that middle one out a bit more, you can see that we have got the shape of the three crosses. This is the piece that we're now going to fasten across the front of our paper plate. This is the point where you can tell I'm doing this live, because I realise that I've got a bit of white here and here, so I'm actually going to put a bit more yellow in before I stick it all together. And perhaps, if you watch the whole video before you have a go yourself, you'll start your yellow stripe a bit further down the plate than I did this time. It might make sense to take your yellow quite a long way down, really. Right, let's have another look. Make sure that the bottom is right down at the bottom. some right down the bottom, move it across a bit. Now you can see the shape. So I'm just going to fasten that in place. Now you can either cut it off at the sides, take it down straight, you could tuck it behind your plate, or you could do what I'm going to do, which is just fold it over. And staple. Finished. As you can see, you end up with a slightly three-dimensional piece of art because the crosses are standing out in front of the sky. There we have our Easter picture, made very simply. The paper plate, black paper, some coloured felt tips or paints if you've got them, my pencil, my scissors, and either the glue to glue it on or the stapler to do it in a hurry. You could punch a hole in the top and hang it up, or you could find something to prop it up on and stand it up. You can hang it on your wall, you can do what you want with your picture, but keep it up over Easter to remind you that Jesus died for us a very horrible death where everybody could see it happening to him. This was important because it had to be that everybody knew that he had died, so that he could prove that he came back from the dead. Now, those of you who got one of the little packs will actually also have a copy of this book, all about Easter. This little book tells you what comes next. It's the story of the resurrection, which is the most important thing of all to do with Easter. So, when you've made your paper plate art, put it somewhere where you can see it, and then go back, find the book, and look at the book. Have a lovely Easter.